Welcome to the Super Bowl special. And this time it's the real Super Bowl special. We got our week, the bye week stuff out of the way. And now we're to the real deal. As Ron Burgundy says, I don't know if you know much about me, but I'm kind of a big deal.
I'm kind of a big deal. Of course.
It's about to escalate quickly in here if you don't know right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk about the Super Bowl, also known as the Merseyside Derby between Liverpool and Everton, which is tomorrow at 3 p.m. Anyway, what are your... Okay. It's football too. I get a little confused sometimes, everybody.
Just tell him.
I can see myself in the camera. That's just crazy.
Just whenever you see this guy run and say YNWA to him, he will...
I will appreciate that, yes. But that's for another show.
Yes, that's for EPL, which will be sometime probably next week. But anyway, the real Super Bowl show, or this year, like last year, if you remember, that was Adam's last show before he left for an unappealing adventure out west, as I must say.
It was a fun time. It was just very unproductive, which is why it was fun. So that's cool.
But anyway, last year's Super Bowl, we named it the Super Bowl.
Yes, we did.
Because it was two hardballs going against each other. But this year, we're going to call the Super Bowl the Weed Bowl.
Yep. That's what it has been called.
Boy, I left at the wrong time. You know what I'm saying?
Because both teams are from the two states that have legalized recreational use of doobies.
Doobie doobie doo.
For you that don't know, it's marijuana. Just had to clear it out.
Doo doobie 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 doo.
As Matt Foley would say, there's a lot of time for doobie rolling when you're living in a van down by the river.
You know what they needed to do, though? They need to have the Super Bowl in Denver or in Seattle, because then, the coaches could be on the sidelines smoking during the game. You know?
The NFL is having a talk right now with legalizing medical marijuana, so that should going to be interesting.
That would be pretty cool, though. I mean, what's his name? Is it Richard Sherman?
Richard Sherman.
Yeah, talk about a guy who needs to smoke a doobie after a game. Give him something around the end of the third quarter so that he's calm at the end, so he doesn't have a heart attack screaming.
I don't want to imagine that. That'd be cool. I don't know. Be interesting.
Or he would just quit playing. He'd be like, "Oh, he's gonna throw a touchdown. That's cool. Everything's cool in life. Yeah, touchdown. Good news. A good throw, man." And then they lose. 63-0. Sherman gets burned for 8 touchdowns. How did that happen? Because he was burning.
The combined Denver and Seattle have only lost 2 home games this year. And both those states have legalized marijuana.
That's a good point. Detroit. It's a drug capital anyway. It's like, might as well legalize it. Bring Detroit back. It'll be the Paris of the West again.
Yeah, we got 3 of the top 10 pretty much horrible cities in the United States. Well, might as well. I can't
Pretty much.
Mellow them out, and maybe they won't shoot each other as much. That's the way I see it. So
Chicago also.
There you go.
But anyway, enough with the legal talk. Let's go with the football talk. And we're not talking about Liverpool and Everton, although is it at Anfield this time?
It's at Anfield tomorrow, 3 p.m. Turn it on.
I see a Liverpool win 3-2.
That was what the professional actually predicted as well, so very good. I think it's going to be more like 9-0 Liverpool. That's just me.
As you see, if you watched our little EPL snippet, which didn't get a lot of views, but
it's because we haven't done it right, but we'll get a good show together.
Yes. But anyway, Denver against Seattle.
And I think the big story is cold weather. When was the last time they had it in a cold weather city? Where it was outside, though.
I think it was Green Day, if I'm correct.
Not Green Bay.
Was that Green Bay?
There was a Super Bowl once at Tulane Stadium, which was unseasonably cold.
I think they said the coldest Super Bowl was in.
Was at Tulane?
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yep, New Orleans. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, okay.
That was how long ago?
I think.
And was that in a dome then?
No,
Or
that was
stadium
outside. It was
outdoors?
outside, yeah.
Okay.
39 degrees.
So yeah, this year was gonna break it, I believe, no matter what.
What's the forecast for this Sunday?
15% chance of precipitation right now, and a high of 33 and a low of 30.
Okay, so it'll
It's
be
not gonna be
cold,
bad,
but
yeah.
I don't think it's gonna like hurt the game.
No, that's high.
Okay.
If they want a cold weather Super Bowl, just play the Super Bowl right now up in the UP.
No.
Or over at MBS International Airport, where I'm gonna be working in about 5 hours, because it's like gonna be negative 30 with the wind chill. So that'd be cool.
So, what analysis do we have?
Well, we come into this game with two of the best teams in the entire NFL, which they both finished first in the AFC and NFC. And you have the Broncos, who have the number one offense in the entire NFL, versus the number one defense in the NFL, the Seattle Seahawks. And coming in this game, Seattle has, I didn't even know it's even possible, to have nobody on their team in a Super Bowl. That's the first time that's happened since 1990, I believe. The Buffalo Bills, they were.
Was that was the first of 4 straight times they went?
That was the first of 4. Yep.
With Jim Kelly as their quarterback.
Yeah, I feel bad for that team so bad.
Yeah.
That's just horrible.
Their fourth one, it was theirs to win, and Thurman Thomas, man, he blew it.
Oh, I'd be killing myself if it wasn't that. I'd be done. I'm retiring.
I'd take it if I were a Lions fan.
Lions, I got figures. I mean, come on now. We knew this was gonna happen.
4 straight Super Bowl losses, I'd be
still celebrating.
Yeah. Going to the Super
Second
Bowl.
place. Lions saying they got second place would be a miracle for us.
Yeah.
But back to the actual Super Bowl here, and yeah, cold weather is going to be an issue in this one, and they're cutting Denver out because of the cold weather. I don't understand really, because I think Denver's a pretty cold state too. If I checked my map right, they're a mile high.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about a mile.
No, not a mile high. Yeah.
We're talking a mile above
high.
sea level.
Yeah. And, I mean, it gets cold there too. They showed them this last week practicing the snow.
And it's not like Seattle's like freaking the North Pole or something.
I know.
So it's like I think that's pretty even.
I mean, Adams frequented Seattle before, so he knows what it's like.
Yeah, they have winter for like a month, and then it's like a second fall, and then it's back to spring, then summer, then fall again. But yeah, it's not really that cold there, so I think it's pretty even. If anything, I think Denver actually has the advantage because I think it's colder there.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I'm trying to figure out what these analysis people are talking about, saying Seattle has the advantage. I'm like, you guys might be high actually while you're doing this show, maybe. Who knows?
The only thing I can understand is if they say that if the weather is colder, it serves a defense more because it's your defense isn't going to get slowed down by cold weather, but yet the ball gets tight, it gets harder to catch, it gets harder to throw. Mm-hmm. So maybe if they think that it'll help Seattle's defense neutralize their offense, that gives them the advantage. I can understand that logic, but not just, it's colder there, because it's not.
Well, you all know what Wes Welker does in the Super Bowl. Right, Patriots?
Yeah.
So they changed that around.
I'll never forgive Wes Welker for that last
nope.
year.
I won't.
Brady should have had, number 5?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
should
6.
have had number 5.
And 7.
Yeah.
And 8.
No, not 8. He ain't that far yet. You should have quite a few, though, but Walker likes to hurt his feelings a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Wes, man.
You know,
My name is that Wes.
I should say the warmest city that will be watching the Super Bowl will probably be Omaha! Omaha! Omaha!
Good old Peyton Manning. And that's another thing here that they're talking about in the Super Bowl, that his legacy's on the line on this game, they're saying, which I completely say is just wrong. And he's got his legacy no matter what. In my eyes, he is. And everybody knows I'm a huge Tom Brady fan, but I want to say Peyton Manning is probably the greatest quarterback to ever play in the NFL, I believe.
He's definitely the greatest that I've ever seen.
I think everything he does on the offensive line, everything he does to his offense is just amazing.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
You're right.
All right. Well, everything he does is just like outstanding. It's just I've never seen it ever. And I don't think anybody's ever seen it like that. I mean, yes, he only has one Super Bowl and he's lost the Super Bowl. I mean, people in the NFL have more rings than him and all that, but still, just the way he plays is outstanding. And I no matter what, I believe he will be retired the greatest quarterback of all time.
I will say that I'm old enough to have say that I remember watching Joe Montana. I watched John Elway. I saw Dan Marino. I saw all those guys. I saw Steve Young in his prime. And yeah, I think Peyton Manning, it's almost like, for me, and I'll just go into my prediction, I think.
Okay.
It comes down to one simple thing. Can Seattle pressure Peyton Manning? Because he's so good right now. If he has any time to throw, he's just dissecting defenses. And it's like, I don't care who the defense is. I don't care if it's Sherman or not. If Sherman's covering his guy, he'll just find the other guy. He knows that, my guy's on Sherman, so this play, we'll alter to this.
And
kind of
also,
like...
go ahead.
Kind of like last year, the Lions played Seattle, and believe it or not, the Lions beat Seattle. Richard Sherman covered Calvin Johnson, and he did very well, but Stafford found a way to get to other receivers, and somehow, believe it or not, mind blown yet, they beat Seattle. But anyway, Cole was saying.
Another thing here, you got to look at what the Broncos have on offense. They don't have just one star wide receiver. They have everybody star on their receiving core. You got Welker, you got, can't think of the names now.
Both Thomases?
Yeah, both Thomases, Demaryius Thomas and, I'm forgetting these names now for some reason, I don't know why.
Let's see here, Demaryius Thomas, Julius
Thomas.
These little scat guys who catch balls really nicely.
Welker, and then you have, I can't remember names anymore. Holy crap, I'm just zoning out here.
Jacob Tamme.
Overall, they just have all these star wide receivers, and they have, 2 good cornerbacks on their team, I believe?
That's why it's going to come down...
they eat nachos.
I got it.
It's coming down to, can they pressure Manning?
Yeah.
Because Manning is, and I agree with you, I think Manning is probably the most impressive guy I've ever seen in terms of, if you don't pressure the guy, it's like he just, there's literally pretty much no chance of him getting stopped. They could go down and score every single time if you don't pressure him. If you don't find some way, or if his offense doesn't have self-inflicted, mistakes, it's like he's unstoppable, and I really think that's going to be the thing. So, can Seattle pressure Peyton Manning? And he's had 2 weeks, and he's probably been looking at Seattle all year.
Oh, he has them dissected.
Yeah, and I think...
And Seattle played Denver in the preseason, and Seattle beat Denver.
Yeah, that's
but
preseason.
It was preseason.
That doesn't mean anything. Peyton Manning is going to be prepared for this. He's going to know this defense inside and out. He's probably watched their entire season 3 or 4 or 5 times by now. He knows everything they do. And I don't think Seattle... And if Seattle does find a way to pressure him, he'll just adjust to it. He'll know how to adjust the coverages and the protection. And so that's what... And I think Denver's defense is good enough that they can stop Seattle's offense, especially the way they've been spreading around. So my pick is Denver because I think Peyton Manning is the best quarterback probably that we've ever seen in the NFL.
What's your score?
I'm going to say... 24-13.
Okay.
All right.
Cole?
Well, this is going to be a great game no matter what. This weather is going to probably play a huge factor at points. Like we've seen Peyton Manning earlier this year, if it is going to be windy, he might struggle a little bit possibly because we've seen that in New England where he could not throw the ball if his life depended on it. But Denver has also got a lot of threats on their team. Seattle, a lot of threats as well. It's going to be, I believe, there's going to be a battle of the offenses in this one. Whoever can get points on the board is going to win this game. And we know Denver has defense that goes on and off, it seems like a points. Last game against New England, they played amazing, and I was quite shocked how great they played.
And Adam will like this. Jack Del Rio probably looks the most British I've ever seen any NFL coach.
Yes, I know. He does look British. I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, man, he does not look like an American at all.
Well, he used to wear a suit, and then the NFL basically said that he could only wear a suit twice a year, and then they'd start fining him. That's how stupid the NFL is.
That is really stupid. Oh, I never heard of that one before.
Yeah, it was dumb, because he always wore a suit and tie, and they were like, you can't do that, it's not NFL enough. Like, he needed to wear, the team gear with the logos. It was like an advertising thing. And I moved to eliminate all commercials in the NFL and have the uniforms.
I saw that status of his.
And have the uniforms all have the advertising. So the Detroit Lions will have like Coca-Cola on the front, like they do in the Premier League. So then there's no commercials. It's all done on the field.
I know you want...
all over the field, all over the uniform.
I know you want standard chartered on the Lions jerseys.
No way, because they'll ruin that. It'll like...
Because that's what Liverpool wears.
That's exactly what they wear, but if the Lions do it, it's going to like somehow find its way into like cursing Liverpool, and I can't stand that.
Alright, back to Super Bowl though. I believe the only way Seattle's going to win this game is if Marshawn Lynch can pull something, because he is the heart of that offense. I mean, nothing against Wilson. I mean, he's a great quarterback as well, but I just feel like he's not going to be the key to the game. It's what Lynch does, because when Lynch does good, that team does good. So for my prediction, I'm going to go with the mighty Denver Broncos and my boy Peyton Manning. I like to call him God, because he is the greatest man to walk on this earth, and he is the one that cannot be stopped. Go Broncos, go. They're going to win it 24-21, I believe.
24-21? Well.
And he's also committing to the University of Michigan.
Yep. I guess you can say that. Or Delta. What do you want to call it? I don't know.
Whichever you want. But he wants to announce, right, tonight. Right.
So, let's get to my pick. Denver and Seattle. I call it, well, knowing all the teams, I call it the battle of two woman crushes. Blair O'Neal and Amber Lancaster. And if you didn't see Amber Lancaster, she's a Price is Right model. Look her up. Denver against Seattle. Now, last week I went with 2 weeks ago I went with the Orange Woman Crush. Of course. I had Denver and Seattle since week 1, mind you.
But did you have a winner picked since week 1?
I did not.
Okay. All right.
I waited specifically for this matchup. So, without further ado, Cole, give me the Peyton Manning jersey.
There you go.
I am going to pick Denver and the Orange Woman Crush to win this game 21-20.
Score? Did you give a score?
24-21.
24-21.
So we all went Denver. I am kind of surprised about that one. I thought one of us would have went opposite.
You know, I would like to pick Seattle, but Manning is the one thing. If it were like any other team, I would say Seattle's got the scrappiness and the mojo, and maybe that'll see him through, but it's like, I think Manning's the trump card to any of that. I think he's just too good.
Does it feel amazing wearing that thing?
It does feel amazing wearing this thing.
See, Omaha's on, you do one, and everybody like,
Omaha! 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 Set up!
Wes Welker, Super Bowl! Oh, I dropped it. Oh, I'm sorry, Tom.
That's a good thing. He can drop it and still win the Super Bowl somehow, because they have 20 other guys right around him.
Because he'll just be like, all right, no worries, I'll throw it to this guy.
Becker will be there like, I'm underneath you, man. I got this. Don't worry.
Now the big question is, will there be Ray Hannity like last year, as you predicted?
I hope not. I really hope not. I think they're gonna win. Manning's gonna be happy. He's gonna do his little going to SeaWorld thing, and then it'll be cool. But I don't think anybody's gonna freak out. I think if Seattle would have to win, then I think Sherman will do his thing. But if Denver wins, I think it'll be much more calmed down, because I think Denver knows they're gonna win. I think they're confident.
And I like wearing this Peyton Manning jersey.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but if they removed all their receivers and started us, I still think we would win, because Manning could be throwing.
Manning would teach us where to go. You're like, all right, you go, just keep going. You're gonna get in a little bit.
Omaha! And of course, I couldn't let down the woman crush that gave me a signed photo and called me their biggest fan. I couldn't let her down.
That's pretty good. I have to admit.
She probably is not watching this, but if she is, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Man, if I ever landed her on the show, woo-hoo.
I have a question, then let's
You got 1 minute.
We got 1 minute. All right, Lions next year predictions. New coach Caldwell. What's their record? What do they do?
10-6, maybe wild card.
10-6. Took it right out of my head.
Nice. I 7-9. They missed the playoffs. Matthew Stafford sets a record. He throws 7,000 yards, 38 touchdowns, and 59 interceptions.
My man,
And
you
they
need to
missed the
find.
playoffs.
You need to find a different team to root
Yeah.
for. Anyway,
I love the
Super
Lions. I
Bowl.
hate Matthew Stafford. Schwartz, I got your back, bro. I still love you, man.
Go Broncos!
Good luck in Buffalo.
Hi,
Good luck in Buffalo, Schwartz.
Hi, Blair.
Come on, Jimmy boy.
Hi, Blair.